Alrighty, hello everyone. Today we are going to go through Canva. Yeah, I said it. Canva. What is Canva, you ask? Well, Canva is a program that was created to help individuals or businesses create designs, pretty much just like a graphic designer. Canva offers these templates that you can go in, switch up, change, and pretty much make them your own. There are graphic designers like myself who offer Canva templates that you can use. It's just a great program that you can go in and create good graphics, good motion graphics. And, you can print them, share them digitally, use them for social media, use them for your website, whatever you need to do. Today, I'm going to show you how to do just a quick graphic for a social media post. We're going to do some text, add an image, and pretty much take it from there. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go through some of the features on Canva. I've heard a lot of people say that the tutorials on Canva are a little vague. So I'm going to go as in-depth as I possibly can with this tutorial. If you have any questions on any features and how to use them, just definitely leave a comment down. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see. If I know how to do it, eventually you will know how to do it. So when you log into Canva, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to see these recommended sizes. What are these recommended sizes? Well, these sizes are generally the sizes that will give you the best resolution and the best format for that particular project. So Instagram posts, you're going to have 1080 by 1080 pixels. Presentation posts, 1920 by 1080. Most of the times we use these for PowerPoints, slideshows, things like that. Your stories are going to be your Facebook and Instagram stories, and they're usually 1080 by 1920. This will fill the entire screen. Posters, we have 18 by 24, and they say 18 by 24 because most of the time, if you're producing a large format poster, it's going to start at 18 by 24. Cards are generally 7 by 5 inches. This is a standard print invitation, greeting card. Logos. Now, let me tell you something about these logos. I do not recommend you create a logo in Canva. I'm going to repeat that one more time. I do not recommend you complete a logo design in Canva. Why I say that is because, you can come on here and create something really quick, fast, easy with the little elements that they provide. And this is not a logo that you would possibly be able to copyright because you're essentially using elements that everybody that uses Canva is going to use. So the likelihood of you having the same logo design as somebody else is extremely high, just with your business name. Invitation, flyer, resume, photo collage, infographic. As you can see, they have a wide range of predetermined template sizes that you can use. Now, this is great because if you're not familiar with dimensions or what is ideally used for a particular project, you can just go in and choose your selected and keep it moving. Now, the second thing I want to make you aware of is this sidebar over here. This is where you're essentially going to house all your saved projects. Now, based on what I've created so far, they've recommended these sizes because most of the time these are the sizes that I use. On here where you see all of your designs, this is going to be all of designs created. And as you see, I have quite a few that you create in Canva. Now, because I'm a graphic designer, most of my designs that I create in Canva are templates for my clients. I do most of my work for other people in Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe InDesign, and Adobe After Effects. So I work primarily in the Adobe suite. However, when my clients want to have, and I'll show you quickly, when my clients want to have something that they can use on a regular basis, I create for them Canva templates. And what this means is they can go in here and just change out the text, do what they need to do, and keep reusing it, and they don't have to keep coming back to me for various designs. Which I love when my clients come back, but if I can give you a tool that'll help you on a daily basis, then I'm definitely going to do that. Okay, we're going to go back to our home screen. This button right here, share it with you. So if I was to design a template for you, or if any designer was to design a template for you, you may see that design here. And you can also create a team, and that will show up here as well. Okay, so your brand kit. So this is very essential for if you're going to be using your branding consistently throughout your flyers or work that you're doing in Canva. So what you would do here is you will upload your logo. As you see, I have my Field Graphics logo here, and this is a client that I work with quite frequently. And what they do is they take the colors that are in your branding and they bring them here. And the cool thing is if you don't have a color in your logo design, but you still use that in your branding, all you do is put in your hex code here, and it'll populate. And I think that is very awesome when it comes to completing consistent designs throughout your branding and your social media, website. Everything will just be consistent. You can also choose various brand fonts. So these brand fonts are simply the fonts that you would use throughout your branding and your promotion designs. You can also, which is great, upload a font, which we'll talk about in a later tutorial. But you can upload a font if there's a font that you use specifically for your brand that is not offered in Canva. All right, another great thing that Canva has is a content planner. So what this means is I can go through here, and each day I can create a design for that day. And that helps me to keep up with my content. And you want to, if you have like a fashion brand, if you have, craft brand, beauty brand, any of those things that requires you to produce a lot of content, this would be an integral tool for you to use throughout the Canva program. Whew, that was a lot said. Oh my goodness. Okay, so all your folders. So as you see, I have a couple folders here. I have my Instagram templates that I create. Then I have certain businesses that I create my templates for. Creating a new folder is easy. You simply go to create a new folder, and we're going to do YouTube tutorials. And I don't want to share it with any team members at this moment, but I create my folder, and you see it has already populated. If you want to double check, go back to all my folders, and as you see, we have our YouTube tutorials. And of course, you have your handy dandy trash can. So I briefly explained all the functions pretty much on the home screen. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit, and as you can see, you can also see your most recent designs here. And then as we go further down, what you're going to see is those templates that I talked about earlier. So it's really easy to go in here and just start designing while also keeping your layout consistent and organized. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a design. So since I'm creating this design for Instagram, I'm going to go ahead and click on Instagram, which is going to give me my 1080 by 1080 pixel design. And I'm going to go ahead and begin. So what I'm going to do today is create a simple quote that says, let's see, I'm feeling crafty. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first add a background to our social media post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to uploads, and I am going to pull a photo or background that I've already uploaded And I love to put different quotes and things on when it comes to my social media posts. So I'm going to click on here. And as you see, it landed directly in the middle of our canvas. So I know you're thinking, well, Felicia, how do we make it cover the entire screen? Well, you can do this one of two ways. You can take your image here and you can drag it to the corner and then expand it that way. Now your image is covered across the whole entire screen. You can do it another way. And a plus, when you stretch it across the entire screen, it now becomes a part of your background. So if you notice, I can't move it the same way that I moved it before. So that means that it has attached itself to the background of my Canva canvas. So what I'm going to do from that point is, like, say it attached itself, but it wasn't exactly in the right area that I wanted it to be in. So I'm going to double click here. And as you see these 4 anchor points on the photo, now that I've double clicked, I'm going to stretch and I can adjust how I see fit. Okay? So now I have it where I want to have it. I'm going to actually make that full screen so you can see. Okay? Alrighty. So the next thing I want to do, I have my background set. I'm going to go and add some text. So I'm going to click in my sidebar, go down to text, and I am going to look through. Now, this is an awesome thing about Canva. So when you're going through these texts, you see that you already have a few set and design things that you can go ahead and add into your design. As you go towards the bottom of the options, you'll see a few font pairings that are cohesive and that go together, and that can also be used as your headline and your subtext. So because I'm just writing a quote, I am going to choose this one. Now, of course, our post is not going to say Charlie and Katie are engaged. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and edit this and make it our own. Now, a lot of people get confused on this part, especially when you're working on your phone, because you try to edit and it just acts a little funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down for you. So once you click here, and if you see this dotted line as well as a square line, that means that these 2 texts are now a group. So what we want to do is we want to go to ungroup. And now these 2 elements are 2 separate things that we can manipulate. So I'm going to take the top text and I'm going to write, I'm feeling. And on my bottom text, I'm going to put crafty. Okay? And what I just did here is, you see that the width of my text box was at about 821. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my text box in some, because I want to manipulate this without it being a whole lot of overlap on my smaller text. Because what's going to happen is, if you do like this and you put and you see this box is overlapping this I'm feeling, it's going to be hard. If you're on your phone, it'll be hard for you to move your crafty around. Your I'm feeling around, because the crafty is now above the I'm feeling. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to break it down a little further if it doesn't. So essentially in Canva, what you're doing is like you're in Photoshop and you're creating layers. So crafty is going to be your top layer. I'm feeling is going to be under crafty, and then your background layer is going to be your last layer. So in essence, your elements on your Canva screen are creating a hierarchy. So you're telling, what Canva is saying is the crafty is the most important, I'm feeling is the second important, and then your background is the third important. So you just want to keep that in mind when it comes to movement. Like sometimes if you're on your phone, you may be trying to click on I'm feeling, but it keeps giving you I'm crafty. And that's why. And you can switch them around as you like, just so you can move them around better. But you'll definitely find it easier if you make sure that those text boxes are directly around the content of your text. So while I have my crafty, I don't like that my I'm feeling is so small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand that. So I can do it in two ways. I can take it with this, you see this arrow that has come up. I can expand it that way. Or I can take it from here and increase my font size. Now you see, if I increase my font size and I've made my content box shorter, it's going to fit my text in that content box. So what I'm going to do is, because I want to keep my I'm feeling the same way, I am going to increase it using my arrow. Just like that. And then I say, you know what? I don't really like that text. So I'm going to change that text. So I'm going to click on I'm feeling, go to my font selection here, and choose the font that I would like for my I'm feeling to be. And we're going to go with a font that I frequently use in my branding, and that's Bebas New. And I'm going to click on that one. And I want it to be a little bold, so I'm going to click on my bold option. And as you see, it's changing that form because it got bigger, and then it's still contained in my text box. So I'm going to make my text box a little wider. I'm going to scoot that over, and I actually want to make my crafty a little bigger. Okay. And as you see, I use the rotate down here to rotate it. Okay. Alrighty. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these elements, and I'm going to move them up a little bit. So I'm going to select I'm feeling. I'm going to shift, click I'm crafty. And I'm going to take my arrow and just, on my keyboard, move it up a bit. I can also move it up using selecting with my mouse and moving it up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add my branding to my I'm feeling crafty. So I'm going to go to uploads, and I'm going to select my logo, which I've already uploaded in PNG file. And I am going to decrease the size, place it here. And because we're using a full color design and my logo design is full color, I'm going to add a little shape just so my logo can pop out a little more. So I'm going to go right here to elements. And I'm going to choose a simple circle. And we're going to see how this looks. So I chose my circle. And a great thing that you can do is once you bring in your shape, most of the flat shapes, which means there are no details in it, you can change the color. So you will come here. Anytime that you have a shape that the color can be changed, the colors are going to come up in this little corner. So you're going to want to click here, change the color, and I'm going to bring this down here. And what I'm going to do is, you remember earlier when I talked about those things being in a certain order? What I'm going to do is, because I brought my logo in before I brought my shape in, my logo is now underneath the shape. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to position, and I'm going to send the circle backwards. So what that means is, I'm going to put my shape under my logo design. So as you can see here, I can now expand my logo design, and now it is underneath. Now it's on top of, my shape. I'm not too fond of that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to make my circle smaller, and I'm going to put it underneath my logo, but to match my logo. So now it'll just look like my logo design has a white background. I'll zoom in just so I can make, and as you see how I'm clicking on there, and I'm trying to click on my circle, but it's clicking on my logo. That's because of that scenario I mentioned earlier. When you're trying to click on one thing, but the other has the hierarchy, it can be kind of hard. So you gotta kind of finagle it so you can get what you need to do done. So I'm gonna move this. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little finessing. And now I am all set. So what I want to do now is, I just want to add my social media information in. I'm going to move that over. So I'm going to go, I'm going to take my I'm feeling, because I want to use that same text, and I'm going to copy it. And you can copy it by right clicking, go to copy, right click, go to paste. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And I'm going to write Feel Customs. Well, I'm going to do my website, feelcustoms.com. And one more thing I wanted to show you guys in this tutorial today is how you adjust the kerning of your letters. That means the spacing or the height of your lines. So you're going to go in and you're going to do, you see this, where you see this spacing, and you're going to do here, so I can make my letters. I'm going to expand that text box and make them, I can space them out. And I'm going to actually decrease that font size. Okay. And we're going to take this and we're going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to put my Instagram information. Okay. So now we have, I'm just going to make sure you lay that out. And for me, I'm a stickler for layouts. So this is not quite lined up for me. So what I'm going to do is put this over here. And I'm actually going to put this right here. Okay. So now I've created a simple social media design. Now, the great thing about this is, say you love this layout and you want to use this for all of your, social media quotes. You want to make you a few memes. You want to do, some pricing. You can use this consistently throughout your graphics. all you have to do is go here where it says duplicate page, and you're going to add the same page. Now you want to add a blank page, you go here to add a page, and you can start a completely different design. Now all you have to do to change it up, say I want to delete that. Now you've just created yourself a template. So now you have a blank one. I'm going to duplicate it again. And now I'm going to add, now I'm going to add a few additional elements. I want to announce a sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in a different set of text. And what I'm going to do is, let's say we were doing 50% off all weekend. So we're going to do happy crafting sale. Okay, and we're going to say 50% off. And here we want to add, use the promo code crafty. Okay, so we see it's a little off, but we use the set function, so we're going to just increase that a bit. Let's see, let's go to 300. Oh, that's way too big. Let's go to 250. Not 20, 250. Okay, still a little big, but we can kind of deal with it. Okay. And what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this because it's causing me to have a few issues. Okay, I'm going to increase this font. So you remember we can increase that font by going here. Okay, and then I'm also going to increase the font here. And now I've created another simple graphic for my business. And the crazy thing about this is, posting this on my website, it looks like I have a dope graphic designer completing my graphics. Everything is consistent. But you just went on Canva and did a couple small things and made something really dope. A couple special things you can add to make your graphics really pop. You're going to go back to elements. And if you want to find things with movement, you can go to elements and type in animated. And you'll see the functions come up that, move around, do a whole bunch of good stuff. So let's say I want to let's add an arrow so they'll know where to go on my website. And now I just added a great motion emphasis to my website, and it still looks pretty nice. Now, say I wanted to, spice it up a little bit more. Well, there are definitely a lot of functions that you can add to your flyer design, or anything that you're doing that will give your design that extra pop. I use a lot of fireworks, I use a lot of circling, but for the most part there are a lot of things that you can do that will enhance your flyer's appearance. And something that can cost you $50 to $100 from a graphic designer, you've purchased your Canva Pro subscription, and now you're designing like a boss. Okay, so I'm gonna type in fireworks. Okay, let's see, animated fireworks. And anytime you're interested in adding something else, just type it in and see if it will come up. As you can see, there are all types of elements that you can use. Say you wanted to circle this and place emphasis on the 50% off. The only thing I would say is always be careful that when you add different elements, you don't cover up the key text. And you're set. Bring that to the front. And you can definitely add more than one element to your flyer design or anything that you're doing. I would just make sure you're always looking out for your layout and making sure that everything still doesn't look too cheesy or anything like that. And what I'm doing, I'm just copying and pasting. And that's a lot going on, but I think you definitely understand where I was going with it. But I would just take a moment and go through Canva. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Definitely take a moment and go through Canva just to make sure you really get it, because there are a lot of awesome things that you can do with the program. Once you're done, downloading and sharing is very easy. As you can see, if you add any of the elements that move, you're now going to see this play sign, and that's pretty much telling you how long that motion is going to last. And you can go ahead and play it. Now, when you press play, if you have multiple pages, it's going to play all of them as if it's like a slideshow. Okay, so when you download, you can download a couple different type of ways. You can download the PNG file, which is a high quality image that has no background. So if you didn't have a background and you just had "I'm feeling crafty," you would be able to download the PNG. If you download a JPEG, it's the same thing. It's just the full image with the background and everything in it, and it's a smaller file size than the PNG. PDF, it's great if you have multiple pages, and it's great for if you're doing a high quality print. PDF print, of course, is going to be high quality. The standard is a smaller quality than the PDF print. So if you need something if you have a file storage that's a little smaller, you want to go ahead with the standard. With the Canva Pro, you can do an SVG file, but just think about if you do your logo on Canva, remember, it's a high possibility that somebody else will have your logo design. An MP4 is going to be your quality video. So when you download it, it's going to download as an MP4. Your GIF file is going to be a short video, and it has no sound. So what we're going to do, we're going to download it as a JPEG. And what you're going to do is your size, you keep it at 1 if you want to keep it at 1. You can increase the size, and it goes by multiples of 0.5. Your quality, we want to always make sure our quality is at 100%. I do a lot of graphics, and I always want to make sure that my graphics are at the best quality that they can be. And for your pages mean simply page 1 is for your first graphic that we created. Page 2 is that template that we created, and page 3 was that additional graphic. So right now I only want to download page 1. So I'm going to go here, click page 1, and done, and I will only be downloading page 1. It takes a little second, but once it prepares your designs, it's going to download, and you are all set to share, post, or anything that you feel you may need to do with your Canva design. And for the most part, that is it. Again, Canva is very, very easy to use. Again, let's take one more thing I want to show you before I go. Because as you see, we've added our animated options. You can also add a video. So if you ever see those cool looking flyers that may have a video on it, or even some YouTube intros or outros, you see they have a cool video in the midst of a flat graphic. Well, this is a perfect place where you can do this. Say you have a tutorial that you want to add within your graphic, or you have a advertisement and you want to show how you're doing it. You would just go here to upload media, and once you upload it, you can upload from your device. You can upload from Facebook, Google Drive, or Instagram, even Dropbox. I'm going to just select a video from Instagram. I didn't even know my Instagram wasn't connected, but hey. And I am going to just add something really quick. Do I have any videos on here? I don't think so. So we're going to go back to uploads. Let's see. So the videos aren't coming up, but didn't mean to do that. If you ever do that, let's go back. Oh. Okay. So what we're doing is adding a video to our template. So what we're going to do is we hit upload. I'm going to go to device, and I am going to choose a video really quick. I'm going to wait for it to upload, but while it's uploading, I'm going to choose one that I already have here. And as you see, I just dragged it in and pressed play. Just like that. And it's very simple. I can manipulate this, make it a little shorter. I can add an element on top of it. You know, it's very dope. Just remember, if you change the shape of your video, always double tap and adjust to make sure it's in the correct window. Just like we did the background earlier. All right, and there you have it. Those are pretty much the basic functions of Canva. Please tune in. I will be uploading additional tutorials on how to operate and maneuver with Canva. And as always, remember to have a happy crafting day. Thank you. Like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.